Hi everyone, it's Sunday, April 19th, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Dordick. What can we say, but another week of the pandemic has gone by. Some regions, particularly in the Mediterranean and in Europe, are actually looking at slowly restarting some industrial production, so all eyes are going to be on those locations to see what happens to the COVID-19 infection rates there. Speaking of Europe, editor Andrea Guolo says that there are expectations for tanneries starting to open soon, especially as storage is full and untreated hides are starting to rot. Low-grade materials are still being sold for gelatin and other uses. In Britain, the reference price for the 36 plus ox is unchanged this week at 70 cents per kilo, both in sterling and in euros. And this isn't because of any sales, but rather the steps that UK and Irish sellers are taking to preserve the hides for later, so they don't really need to sell them now. The reference prices in the bull market stabilized this week, with 40 plus southern German bulls at 85 cents. With regard to cows, production is sustained and the warehouses are already full, so no increases are anticipated. The current price for 25 plus northern German cows is 40 cents per kilo. In his analysis, Andrea takes a detailed look at what levels of opening are anticipated in the different regions and dissects why tanneries are in such a difficult position, as explained by Rino Mastrotto, who is president of the Arzignano Tanners. Turning to the U.S., prices have stopped declining, and that is good news. Of course, this is largely driven by the plummeting level of slaughter. The lower kill is because of the various closings and shutdowns at major meat processing plants across the country, and this is because of the rising COVID infection rates among the workers. And because packers sold a huge number of hides in the past few weeks, they really don't have much to offer, especially among the popular selections. So trading was much less active for those reasons, and the price of regular weight heavy Texas steers improved, with trading reported at $16 for seasonal weights. Now, we already mentioned the week's low slaughter level, which was 502,000, and it's the lowest non-holiday week total in quite some time. With regard to exports, it was another week of large numbers. The total raw and wet blue hides sold was 723,600, and once again, the bulk of those sales were to China. Combined shipments were lower than last week at 466,700. In our observations, we take a look at the current slaughter level and what that means for the market in the short term, and whether it will play a role in any turnaround. From South America this week, editor Ronald Guiel reports from Brazil that prices are down. Fresh hides have dropped again and are selling at 49 cents in reals per kilo, which is 9 US cents. With regard to TR1, the price has also dropped, and it is currently 57 cents per square foot. Prices are also lower in Uruguay. Among the other news stories from Brazil, we have the CICB's export data for March that show leather exports were down again in volume as well as value, which is really not surprising given the global situation. From elsewhere in Latin America, we have a story about Argentina's footwear companies being at risk, increased footwear imports in Central America, a huge dive in slaughter in Uruguay, and how the leather zone in León, Mexico is turning to e-commerce during the lockdown. So that's all the news we have for today. Until next week, good night from HideNet.